Just having a coffee with my ex, I wouldn't come back tonight. That single text message appeared on Dennis Mark's phone at 6:47 p.m. on a Tuesday that would change everything. His wife Vivian had no idea that her cybersecurity expert husband had been tracking every hotel reservation, every lie, every secret phone call for the past 3 months. What she also didn't know, while she was plotting to destroy him and take everything in the divorce, Dennis was building a digital fortress of evidence that would make her regret ever underestimating the man who finds vulnerabilities for a living. What happened next will show you that sometimes the quietest revenge is the most devastating. Viewers, have you ever discovered that the person you trusted most was living a double life right under your nose? How would you handle it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Before we continue, please subscribe, like and watch till the ending to share this interesting story to your family and friends. My name is Dennis Mark. I'm 36 years old, a cybersecurity consultant living in Austin, Texas. For the past 9 years, I've made my living finding vulnerabilities in systems, security holes that people think are hidden, digital footprints they believe they've erased. I never thought I'd use those skills on my own wife. Vivian and I met in college at the University of Texas. She was studying marketing, I was knee-deep in computer science. She had this laugh that could light up a room, and when she smiled at me across the library that first time, I knew I was done for. We got married 6 years ago in a small ceremony at Zilker Park, right by the water. No kids yet, we've been waiting for the right time, she always said. I worked from home 3 days a week, she worked at a downtown advertising agency on Congress Avenue. We had a good life. We had dreams. We had plans. Or so I thought. 3 months ago, Vivian started working late. New client, she said. Big campaign. Important meetings. I believed her because why wouldn't I? This was the woman who cried when I proposed, who promised me forever under the Texas stars, who wore my grandmother's ring like it was the most precious thing in the world. But last Tuesday, everything changed with a single text message. That's when I learned that the person you trust most can be the one hiding the biggest lies. That's when I discovered that my entire marriage had been built on a foundation that was crumbling beneath my feet, and I hadn't even noticed the cracks. I was in my home office, wrapping up a security audit for a client, when my phone buzzed on my desk. The notification sound cut through the silence like a knife. Vivian's name lit up the screen and I smiled before I even read it. That's how stupid I was. That's how much I still trusted her. The message read, "Hey babe, just having a coffee with my ex, catching up on old times. Don't wait up, I probably won't be back tonight. Staying at Rachel's. Love you," followed by a heart emoji. I read it once, then twice, then a third time, and each time, different words jumped out at me like red flags I'd been trained to spot in code. Ex won't be back tonight. Rachel's. The casual tone. The heart emoji like that would make it all okay. Here's what most people don't know about Vivian and me. We had a rule. A relationship rule we'd established after a close call early in our marriage. No contact with exes. Period. It wasn't me being controlling, it was mutual. She'd actually suggested it after my college girlfriend tried to friend me on Facebook. I remember that conversation so clearly now. Vivian had been adamant, almost aggressive about it. She'd been cheated on in her previous relationship, she said, and it scarred her. She'd looked me dead in the eyes and said, "I can never go through that again. Promise me, Dennis. No exes, no temptation." And now she was having coffee with her ex overnight. My hands were shaking, but not with anger yet. With something else. Recognition. I'd seen this pattern before, in data breaches and hacked systems. The lies that seem almost true. Just believable enough to slip past your defenses. I called Rachel. Vivian's best friend since high school. If Vivian was really staying there, Rachel would know. She picked up on the second ring, her face filling my screen through FaceTime. Behind her, I could see she was in her pajamas, clearly settled in for the night with a glass of wine. "Dennis? Hey, what's up?" She looked relaxed, completely unaware she was about to blow my world apart. "Hey Rachel. Quick question. What time is Vivian coming over tonight?" The confusion on her face was instant. Real. Unmistakable. I've spent years reading people's micro-expressions in security briefings, and what I saw on Rachel's face wasn't acting. It was genuine confusion. "Tonight? Dennis, I haven't talked to Vivian in like 3 weeks? We keep playing phone tag. Why, is everything okay?" The floor dropped out from under me. My chest tightened. The air in my office suddenly felt too thick to breathe, but I kept my voice steady, professional, calm. "Yeah, everything's fine. My mistake. Must have gotten my wires crossed." After we hung up, I sat in darkness for exactly 4 minutes. I know because I watched the clock, watching the red digital numbers change while my marriage disintegrated in real time. In those 4 minutes I made a decision. I wasn't going to rage. I wasn't going to confront. I was going to do what I do best: investigate, gather data, and find every single vulnerability in her story. Then I was going to exploit them all. People think privacy exists in the digital age. It doesn't. Especially when you're a cybersecurity expert married to someone who shares their phone's cloud account with you for emergencies. Vivian had set it up herself 2 years ago after she lost her phone at a concert. "Just in case," she'd said, kissing my cheek. "You're so paranoid, but I love that you worry about me." I pulled up Vivian's location history on my laptop. The coffee shop she claimed to be at? She'd been there for exactly 23 minutes. Then her phone moved. I watched the blue dot travel across my screen like a confession written in GPS coordinates, sliding through downtown Austin like a ghost. The Driscoll Hotel. Downtown. $340 a night for their deluxe rooms. Her phone had been stationary there for the past hour. I pulled up our shared credit card account, my fingers moving across the keyboard with mechanical precision. There it was, the Driscoll Hotel, charged 4 hours ago. $387.62. Room service probably. Champagne maybe. I felt sick. But here's where it gets interesting. I didn't just find one reservation. I scrolled back through our statements. 4 more hotels. The Westin. Hotel Van Zandt. The Fairmont. Different dates, all on nights she'd claimed to be working late or at conferences. This wasn't a mistake. This was a pattern. I sat with my phone for 20 minutes, composing and deleting messages. Each one angrier than the last. Each one more accusatory, more emotional, more raw. But anger is messy. Anger is what she'd expect. Anger can be explained away, apologized for, minimized with tears and promises. Finally, I typed something else entirely. "Coffee sounds nice. Hope you two have a wonderful time catching up. By the way, I noticed you used our credit card for the Driscoll Hotel. The room service champagne was a nice touch. Funny thing about cloud shared accounts and location tracking. Technology is amazing, isn't it? Enjoy your night. We'll talk when you get home. Whenever that is." I attached 3 screenshots: her location at the Driscoll, the credit card charge, and a map of her location history for the past 3 months, showing every hotel she'd visited. Each dot on that map was a lie. Each charge was a betrayal. Then I hit send. The delivered notification appeared immediately. 1 minute passed. Then 2. Then read at 7:34 p.m. appeared beneath my message. I imagined her face as she read it. The blood draining from her cheeks. The panic setting in. The scramble to figure out what to say. 15 seconds later, my phone started ringing. Vivian's name flashing across my screen. I didn't answer. It rang again. And again. And again. 12 times in 15 minutes. Then the text started flooding in. "Dennis, please pick up. It's not what you think. Let me explain. Please. I'm coming home right now." I silenced my phone and opened a beer. Through our shared location service, I watched Vivian's blue dot leave the Driscoll in a hurry. She was moving fast, probably throwing clothes into her purse, smearing her makeup with panicked hands. I could picture her perfectly, the fake tears she'd practice in the car, the story she'd construct on the drive home. But here's what she didn't know. 6 months ago, when she kept complaining her car was making weird noises, I'd installed a backup tracker to monitor its diagnostics remotely. Professional paranoia. The same paranoia that had saved my clients millions and prevented breaches. Now it was saving me. Her car was speeding down I-35 heading home. She'd be here in 23 minutes with traffic. 23 minutes to decide my next move. Most betrayed spouses would pack bags, throw clothes on the lawn, change locks. Dramatic. Emotional. Satisfying in the moment. But that's predictable. That's what she'd expect from someone operating on raw emotion, on pain and betrayal and shattered trust. I was operating on strategy. I walked to our bedroom, each step feeling surreal, like I was moving through someone else's life. I opened Vivian's jewelry box, the one I'd bought her for our 2nd anniversary. Inside, beneath the pearl necklace her grandmother gave her, I found what I was looking for: a second phone. A cheap burner smartphone she thought was hidden. I powered it on. No password. "Rookie mistake, Vivian. Amateur hour." The messages told me everything. Not just Trevor, her supposed ex from college. There were 3 others. 3 different men over 8 months. Hotel receipts. Explicit photos. Plans for future encounters. But one conversation made my blood run cold. It was with her friend from work, Amanda. Someone I'd met at company parties, someone who'd smiled to my face at our last barbecue. Vivian had written, "I think I'm going to leave Dennis soon. Just need to get our finances sorted first. I want the house." Amanda replied, "Smart. Make sure you document everything that makes him look bad. Affair allegations work both ways, you know." Vivian's response, "Already on it," followed by a winking emoji. I read it 3 times. Each time the words hit harder. She wasn't just cheating. She was planning to destroy me and take everything. While I was working to provide for our future, she was plotting to steal it. The house my inheritance had bought. The life I'd built for us. I remembered 3 months ago finding a text notification on her phone while she was in the shower. A name I didn't recognize, Trevor. The preview said, "Last night was incredible. When can I see you again?" I'd frozen staring at those words. But I didn't confront her. Something in my gut told me to wait. To watch. To document. So I did. I hired a private investigator. I opened separate bank accounts. I called divorce attorneys. I changed beneficiaries on insurance policies. All while pretending everything was normal. All while kissing her goodnight and saying I love you and dying inside. I closed the burner phone with surgical precision and placed it back exactly where I'd found it. Then I walked downstairs and sat at the kitchen table. Single overhead light. Waiting. Vivian burst through the door at 8:17 p.m. Her hair was disheveled, her makeup smeared from crying. She looked terrified, and for a split second I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. "Dennis, I held up my hand. "Come." Controlled. "Sit down, Vivian." She hesitated, then slowly sat across from me. The kitchen table where we'd shared 1,000 meals now felt like an interrogation room. The distance between us was more than physical. "I can explain everything," she started, her voice cracking perfectly. She'd always been good at performing. "I'm sure you can. You're excellent at explanations. Trevor, right? Or should I say, not actually your ex. You two met at that marketing conference in Dallas 8 months ago." Her face went white. Actually white. "How did you?" "The Westin, September 14th. Hotel Van Zandt, October 3rd and 22nd. The Fairmont, November 7th. Should I continue?" She was sobbing now, mascara creating dark rivers down her cheeks. "It was a mistake. I love you." "I don't know what I was thinking." "You were thinking about how to leave me and take the house. I read your messages, Vivian. All of them. Including the ones about documenting things to make me look bad in a divorce." Her tears stopped. Just for a second. And in that second I saw something that chilled me, calculation. She was already thinking about her next move, already planning her next lie. "That burner phone you hid in your jewelry box? Really poor operational security. I expected better." Now genuine fear crossed her face. "Here's what's going to happen," I said, my voice steady as ice. "You're going to leave. Tonight. Pack one bag. Stay somewhere, I don't care where, but I know it won't be Rachel's. This is my house too. Actually, it's not. This house is in my name only. Bought with my inheritance before the marriage. Texas separate property. My lawyer confirmed it 3 hours ago." "You called a lawyer already?" Her voice was barely a whisper. "I called several. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered on speaker. "Mr. Mark? This is Detective Sarah Chen with Austin PD. I'm calling about a report we received earlier this evening." My blood went cold, but I kept my face neutral. "What report?" "Your wife called us about an hour ago from a hotel. She claimed she was afraid to come home. Said you'd been threatening her. She wanted to make sure there was a record in case anything happened to her. So that's what she'd been doing during those frantic minutes at the hotel. Not just panicking. Building a narrative. Evidence that I was dangerous. Unstable. A threat. Even in her panic, Vivian was trying to flip this situation, to paint me as the villain. "Detective, my wife has been having multiple affairs. I discovered this today with evidence. She's currently in our home packing. I've never threatened her. I understand these situations are complicated, Mr. Mark. But given the report, I need to send an officer for a wellness check." Vivian's eyes widened. She thought she'd won. Thought her false report would save her. But she'd made one critical mistake. "Detective, before your officer arrives, I need to tell you that I have security cameras throughout this house. Video and audio. They've been recording all evening. You'll see I've been nothing but calm, and that my wife entered of her own free will. I have not raised my voice, made any threats, or acted aggressively." Long pause. "You have cameras recording inside your home?" "Yes, ma'am. Installed them 2 months ago. My wife knew about them. Everything from this evening is recorded. I can provide the footage. That would be very helpful, Mr. Mark. Vivian's face transformed from hope to barely controlled rage. She tried to set me up. And I just checkmated her final move. 1 week later, I'm sitting in my divorce attorney's office in downtown Austin. Margaret Chin has been handling high-asset divorces for 20 years. Mr. Mark, you've built one of the most airtight cases I've seen. The documented infidelity, the dissipation of marital assets, the false police report, the messages about manipulating the divorce. Your wife's attorney called yesterday. They want to settle. What are they offering? She walks away with her personal belongings, her car, whatever was in her separate accounts. No claim to the house, no alimony, no division of your retirement. She signs an NDA. In exchange, you don't pursue reimbursement for affair expenses or press charges for the false report. I lean back. She'd lose more in court. Substantially more. This is them cutting losses. Deal. As I leave, my phone buzzes. Unknown number. I hope you're happy. You destroyed my life. I don't respond. I block it and keep walking. My life isn't destroyed. It's rebooting. And this time, I'm installing better security. Please subscribe, like and share for more interesting stories.